Good afternoon, dear participants of the conference. Let me introduce you a study on task with parameters, a digitized approach. I will build my report according to the following structure: statement of the problem, the research goal, a brief overview of the software used in the study, one of the examples of solving a task with parameters using different systems of computer mathematics considered in the study, the main results of the study, and conclusions. Modeling of various processes and phenomena is one of the main general methods used in scientific research. Learning to solve tasks with parameters considered in the process of teaching mathematics is one of the preparatory stages for mathematical modeling. There are two groups of methods for solving tasks with parameters: analytical and graphic methods. Analytical methods are grounded on the properties of functions of real variable periodicity, parity, monotonicity, convexity, etc. that are being studied in detail in the course of mathematical analysis for students of corresponding specialties at bachelor's courses. The use of graphic methods was traditionally restricted by the possibility of plotting graphs of elementary functions and the ways of their transformation. The situation changed radically with the development of computer technology and the appearance of computer mathematics systems. An organic combination of analytical and graphic methods when solving tasks with parameters imposes additional requirements on the training of students, future teachers of mathematics. Their training should be based on a combination of theoretical material of the classical theory of the differential calculus of functions of a real variable and practical means of displaying graphs of functions with the use of CMS. The purpose of this work is to develop criteria for the selection of software advisable for the use in the process of solving tasks with parameters, as well as give examples of solving such tasks by both analytical and graphical methods. Today, web-oriented software, including CMS, is being used more and more. Among the most popular freely distributed computer mathematics systems, it should be noticed GeoGebra, Gran1, Wolfram Alpha, Maxima, SageMath, etc. Let's consider an example of solving tasks with parameters using CMS. More interesting examples can be found in our article. So the first example is solve the equation a multiply x equals 1. We will find the solution of the equation in analytical form using Wolfram Alpha, Maxima, and SageMath. With the help of Wolfram Alpha, we get an answer represented here, and we'll mark it by 1. For a equals 0 to equation 1 has no solution. The specificity of the Wolfram Alpha interface is that the case when the set of equation solutions is empty is not considered by default. On this slide, you can see a screenshot of the Wolfram Alpha with the solution of represented equation. Using the Maxima and SageMath programs, we get the next solution, and this is the wrong answer. Corresponding screenshots you can see below. Using GeoGebra and Gran1, it is not possible to obtain analytical solutions of this task. However, there can be useful a geometric interpretation of the task. So, the figure on the next slide, which was obtained using the Gran1 program, shows the graph of the function y equals ax for different values of the parameter, namely a equals 1 and a equals 0. In the case when a equals 1, the graphs of the function y equals x and y equals 1 intersect at one point. That's the equation marked 1 has one solution. If a equals 0, then the graphs of the functions y equals 1 and y equals 0 do not intersect. That is, the given equation has no solution. This slide represents the described solution by Gran 1. In the article, you can find more interesting examples, and some of them we will consider below. The first one, find the values of the parameters a and b for which the equation sin x equals ax plus b has two solutions. The image obtained with Gran 1 shows just such a situation. You can see it here. A detailed analysis of the problem is given in the article. A detailed analysis of the following tasks is also provided using a combination of graphical and analytical approaches and the use of the above mentioned computer mathematics systems. Here you can see some of these examples. The main results of the study. These results are represented in the table 1. The table 1 analyzes the presence of program functions, which, in our opinion, are needed for graphical analysis of solving tasks with parameters. We considered such software tools as Gran 1, GeoGebra, Wolfram Alpha, SageMath, and Maxima. And on this slide, you can see a first part of the table, and program functions described as this part of the table are as follows. Plotting graph of a function given in explicit form. Plotting graph of a function given in implicit form. Using a parameter in a function's analytical definition. Automatic change of graph of a function depending on the parameter value. As you can see, only Gran 1 and GeoGebra has all listed functions in their functionality. Now, the next part of table 1. The function of programs are ability to change the parameter step change, plotting to a tangent to a curve at a point, plotting of a normal to a curve at a point, ability to change the scale, determination of the coordinates of the intersection of graphs of functions, obtaining an analytical solution. We can see that software Gran 1 and GeoGebra also have all listed functions except the last one. And in general, these programs have the largest list of considered functions. Thus, it is advisable to use, first of all, Gran 1 and GeoGebra from the listed software tools for solving tasks with parameters. It should be noted that Wolfram Alpha, SageMath, and Maxima can be used to obtain an analytical solution, but the received answers are not always correct. Let me introduce you the conclusion of our work. When solving equations, inequalities, and their systems, it is often necessary to plot graphs of corresponding functions. In the case of implicit or parametric definition of functions, the process of plotting their graphs is quite complicated. The task becomes even more cumbersome if it contains a parameter. That's why they often try to solve these problems using various software tools. This paper substantiates the expediency of using computer mathematics system for solving tasks with parameters. Such freely distributed software as GeoGebra, Wolfram Alpha, SageMath, Maxima, and Gran1 are analyzed. Criteria for software selecting have been developed, and a comparative analysis of the specified software tools for solving tasks with parameters is given. According to this analysis, it is possible to recommend using, first of all, Gran1 and GeoGebra for this purpose. Thank you for attention.